Welcome back. We just saw how they ambushed Julio Foolio. It was three guys. They literally jumped over the median. Everybody, one guy was in front of him, one to the side, and one from behind. When they drove the car and they made that right turn, that's when everybody started blowing at them, man. This was they were unmatched. Basically, those guys were creeping in the bushes waiting for him as soon as they took off driving and everything. They tried to get away real quick, but they ran to the other side of the parking lot. They already had 3 cars pulled up, SUVs blocking all the exits, so it was one way in, one way out. So they pretty much forced them to go a certain way. Once they went that way, that's when they started unloading on the man, and because they knew exactly that was Julio Foolio inside that car. It's the same charger that they was told about, that they was warned about, that he was going to be in. And so before he got away, they let loose and everything like that, and they came masked up. If they come masked up, that means they was trying to take his life, basically. What you got to understand is that these 3 dudes, that's the main suspects that was on the surveillance footage that just had got released. Everybody just seen it and looked at it, and they know for a fact that this was a setup that happened to Julio Foolio, because there's no way that could randomly happen to somebody where there's 3 guys chasing after you with masks and you're trying to drive the car away, and they get you at every single angle. They got somebody waiting at every turn that they made and everything like that. So they set this play up. Whoever gave the location to Julio Foolio, like whoever dropped that location to his ops, they must have gave him that location early, because they were able to make a whole plan on how they was able to like pretty much track him down, box him in and everything. He was boxed in. That's the main thing. If he didn't get boxed in, he would have been able to make another left, another right, and anything like that to try to get away and all that. But because he got boxed in, they only was able to go right down his parking space and make that right. As soon as they made the right, you see the flashing lights going off, and it was a guy by that tree standing on the median where it was a fire extinguisher, and he was blowing through the windshield. That was the most fatal parts right there. That was one that got Foolio right there. And Foolio tried to crawl out from the front area to the back seats and everything. That's how he got left, because when they released the pictures of everything, you'll see how Foolio was actually trying to jump to the back seat to get away from the guy who was blowing through the windshield. It's a sad situation, man, because when I saw that footage and I realized that this is exactly the reason why people understand that rappers have the most dangerous job. Once they get into a beef, once they get into some type of altercation and it's up there and it's stuck and it spills into the streets, this is what they always is going to be able to happen. Like in the back of their mind, this is their worst nightmare, and Foolio's worst nightmare happened. And for Youngeen Ace to come out in that song and everything with the cigar and the drink and all that, and come out the Rolls Royce and say it's game over, then that's him basically saying that it was like he was happy that Foolio got hit up. Youngeen Ace was happy about Foolio and them getting hit up, basically, is what he's saying allegedly in the song. This is why they went to investigate and try to like interrogate Youngeen Ace and ask and try to figure out, is there a connection between him and Foolio getting hit up, because they're trying to find any leads and anything possible to try to solve this, because it looks bad on Tampa PD. And so they're tired of having all the rappers they already had to deal with, Spot 'em, Got 'em, and all the stuff that happened in Jacksonville. So what's happening now is that they reviewed the footage and they might be putting out a reward or something like that for the information of the 2 other suspects that was in that footage with the mask and everything. But because they had the masks on, you can't really see their face. So when they zoomed it in, it was all pixelated and blurry, so they never really got a good look at the guys that got away. And so they basically are trying to get the one guy to tell on the other 2 guys to bring him in or something like that, because once they pretty much put the reward out there, there's going to be a lot of people calling in and all that. There's going to be a lot of people that still don't mess with Youngeen Ace that's going to try to call it in and say he did this, he did that. It's a lot of fingers being pointed right now at ATK, because they know for a fact that they were the last people who were beefing with Foolio. And so there's something connected between them, is what everybody was pretty much saying at first when the news dropped that Foolio got hit up, and everyone was saying, dang, ATK got him, what's Youngeen Ace gonna say next? And that's when he dropped the song Responded. The feds and everybody heard that song. This is why they hot on Youngeen Ace's trail, because they already know that what he was saying in the song has got to be connected, because how did he drop that the same day? So, and you know, nowadays they using the lyrics against these rappers, so anything that they say pretty much could get used against them. And so a lot of people thought for Youngeen Ace should have just fell back and laid low and quiet and not talk about the Foolio thing, but he went ahead and did the diss track right away just to let everybody know that that was them and that all that. And so that caused him to pretty much get his name on the Fed's radar, on everybody's radar that's looking for the suspects right now, because they know that he's taunting and basically dissing them as if it was something that happened between their beef, like it was a retaliation or something like that. And now word on the street allegedly is that Foolio getting hit up is retaliation for a lot of things, like just like retaliation for 2-3, retaliation for Jada Youngeen and everybody like that. So what's happening is that they're taking this serious, and they're looking at the two groups, and they're trying to get to the bottom of this. They're trying to figure out how all of this happened, where the three guys ended up in the parking lot. They're looking at the other angles of the footage, and the other businesses. The next door business has the footage of them pulling up and getting out of the cars right before Foolio and them's video starts. So there's actually a whole nother footage right now that I just seen about them getting out of the cars and running across the parking lot chasing after Foolio and them, and you see Foolio jumping in the car, and they skirted off ASAP real quick. So this is all yet to be released, and everybody's looking at it, and they're basically trying to get the footage from all of the businesses around that area, because they know that the cameras were working that day, because it was 7 a.m. when everything was happening. So this is why everybody has been like pretty much looking at Tampa PD like they're putting them in the hot seat, saying that they pretty much got to solve this, or else the whole entire summer is going to be a whole battle between ATK and Foolio's group and all that. Because of this whole thing happening, it pretty much set Tampa, Jacksonville, and the whole Florida, and the rappers and all the street dudes on high alert, because they know that it's a hot summer, it's a war going on, and anything could go down. So all the people that's got beef is active right now. And this is why they're trying to quickly solve the Foolio thing. They might pretty much be able to solve the Foolio case very, very soon, because they have witnesses now. They have the footage and the surveillance and everything like that. So once they dust it for fingerprints and get all the statements and everybody that was around, then they're pretty much going to get a good picture of what happened and what went on. And when they get the phone tapped records of who was in what place, because the guys that pulled up to the spot, they pretty much, they had to have the alibis. And so if it says that their phone records show they were in that area, they're going to get charged with that if the evidence stacks up. So they're sweeping the scene, talking to everybody that pretty much witnessed it, and they're trying to figure out who seen what and all that. There's a lot of people that's talking right now, because it was people, that civilians out there who was coming out that hotel, driving by, and they were in their cars like warming up the car and everything in the morning, and they happened to see Foolio and them getting like chased down and walked down and all that. So once they put everything together, they're pretty much gonna come out and get a lot of people. The feds are gonna sweep, and it's gonna be a whole, and they might end up RICOing them. You never know, because this whole thing got pushed to a further level, and it blew over the point. It like boiled over, and now they have to deal with cleaning this whole mess up. And this is why the grand jury, when they go back and look at this, they're gonna pretty much nail them in the head with the hammer and basically throw the book at all of the suspects that's involved in this whole entire thing. So basically right now, what's happening is that you have to look at everything that's happening, and basically the witnesses and everybody is basically going to be coming forward very soon, and they're going to say who the two other dudes are that's in that footage. And once they catch them, it's game over for everybody.